Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom, your guide to extraordinary weddings and events. I'm your host, Ashley Miner, and we're here to share expert insights and inspiring stories. Let's dive into the art of creating unforgettable moments. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We are at D-Zines in Macon, Missouri with the owner herself, Tyena and Sheridyn, who does all things weddings, and I'm really excited to be here.
We appreciate you coming so much. Thank you so much for including us. We're just excited.
Good. Me too. Well, I want to jump in because I have gotten to work with you guys quite a few times, but we're also friends outside of this. We'll text each other throughout the busy seasons and say, how you doing? You alive? You okay?
Here's
of the time, Starbucks gift card.
Yes.
But yeah. Okay, so why don't you guys kind of give me your background, your history. How did you get here? Why are you here? What's going on with your life? Tell me all the things.
Okay, so about 30 years ago, I had some friends getting married and needed some help, and I really enjoyed it. I liked doing it, but I was, just out of college, just fresh out. And of course, all my friends were getting married, and I kind of got into like helping them decorate, helping them, when should you go down the aisle, figuring all that out.
Yeah.
So that's probably my first taste. And then my degree was in ag business and animal science.
Oh.
Yes. So I worked for crop production services for 10 years. And then I had a child and realized I couldn't really work those hours in the springtime and in the fall. Yeah. And I'd always really enjoyed flowers and being in that. So I went and made an offer on a flower shop and she took it.
Oh, wow.
And the rest is history. So, yeah, I really enjoyed, so I really kind of started coordinating first, 30 some years ago when it really wasn't even a thing.
Yep.
And then I just got to where I was doing more of it because there was a need for that.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew anything about how to do this, how to set a table, when to get the bride down. They got to have a song, all those kind of details.
Yeah.
So then I just thought, maybe this is something I could do.
Yeah.
And so I started, and here we are. And then
I wanted nothing to do with this business my whole childhood.
I think the first time that I actually met you, I was like, so are you going to take over the shop? And you were like, absolutely not.
I know. I was always like, everyone was like, oh, so you're going to take over? Nope, never. Never in a million years. And then I started helping with weddings in like 2018, I think, probably. And Mom's like, you have a really eye for this? I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And then I had to start looking at college and what I wanted to do. And I was very undecided. And then COVID hit and there was literally nothing to do. And my mom had a business where I could make money and actually do something. So then I started doing a lot in COVID and I was like, oh, wait, I do kind of like this. This is actually like super fun.
Yeah.
And I kind of get to do what I want. So then I went to college to get a degree and decided that this is what I was going to do. And once I came back, I could take it over and Mom could focus on the flowers. And here we are.
So what is the balance between you guys? I mean, I have been in family business before. That's not always the easiest, but you kind of manage the flower side, the shop side, and then you take care of coordinating and rentals.
That's right. We just started this. So she just got a degree in December.
Nice.
So we're kind of fresh at this.
Good job.
Yeah. We're
Congrats.
trying to figure it out, I think, still.
And I was a little worried about that because I know family can be tough to work with, but we've worked together since 18. So we kind of know each other's boundaries, what lane to stay in. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate her speaking up if she thinks, oh, Mom, I don't think, no, we shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. And also, with social media, I'm really not a TikToker. She is.
Yeah.
And that's what our brides are.
Yep.
So I think it's great to have the young mind to come in and see all those details and what brides want. Like here's just one instance. Fonts, when you do them for their signage, for other things, we always just did what was ever in the shop, I didn't really pay. Sheridyn says, Mom, we need to get the bridal invitation. We need to use the fonts they use. I think it would look better.
Right.
So what do we do now? This was probably 2 years ago. She's like, we need to up the fonts. Okay, fine. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So now we do that. And that's what I appreciate about her coming in, the new young blood. And then I can just focus more on the flower shop side and the flowers and then enjoy my grandkids.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, tell me, we're alluding to it, but kind of break down, what all do you guys offer? Because you walk into this shop and you see a trillion things. And I talk to you sometimes and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you did that.
Yes, we started right way back in the first days. When you work with other vendors, first of all, it's important to get along with them. And I've been blessed to have some of the best.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't show up or they don't bring enough. So the very first thing I ever branched out on was catering.
Okay.
I did flowers, and then I had
Gosh,
a wedding.
That's a brave leap.
Well, where they ran out of food. And I was like, I told my husband, I'm like, hey, you've got to go to the grocery store. I want you to get ham. I want you to get turkey.
Oh
I
my
want you to get the
gosh.
little rolls, and we're going to
But
finish
she
this.
catered her own wedding.
You are nuts.
Well,
I don't
no,
even cook
not
for my
all
own
of it.
family.
But yeah, I did my wedding. I loved my wedding. It was wonderful. And we needed baked beans for 480 people. So that morning I just whipped up baked beans for 480 people.
Oh.
But anyway,
First of all, who has a 480 person wedding?
Tyena Bealmer.
You did.
it was wonderful.
Oh
I
my
loved
gosh.
everything. But I watched Princess Diana get married. And that's what sealed the deal.
Yep.
I mean, mine was nothing like hers, but there were things that I took from that, even down to my engagement ring. She had a colored one.
Oh my
I think hers is the
gosh.
sapphire. And when he asked, I'm like, I don't want a diamond. Everybody has a diamond, so I don't really care what you get, but not a diamond.
Look
So
at you.
That's what we got. But
you were
anyway,
ahead of the trends.
no, not really. But yeah, so I did that catering, and I did that for a few years until I bought the store in Macon, and something had to give and go. And I'd already had some rental items, so I thought, hey, you know what? We could do rentals. And then I had already been coordinating, and before it was called coordinating or
Right.
planning.
Right.
So I really didn't think that was another extra thing, but actually it's very much extra.
Yeah.
So that's when we kind of added that. So it's like a one-stop shop. So now we just deal with one vendor. That's us to do those three things instead of two more vendors.
Yeah.
So, and it works so well. It
Yeah.
really does, having all three, because you don't have to rely on some things
Right.
from others that might forget it.
What made you give up on the catering?
Too much.
Oh, heck
because I still had a shop in La Plata, one in Macon. Yeah, I had to have a mind that could still work, and that was just that was becoming too much.
Yeah.
So, and we
Yeah.
have great caterers. And so I'm thinking, why not use them? And so I
Right.
did, and I sold all my catering stuff to coal miner's daughter.
Oh,
and
nice.
So yeah,
Very cool.
it all worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so on a day-to-day basis, you obviously have the flower shop where people can come in, see all of your beautiful rentals on one side, shop if they want. But how much of your business is spent on weddings?
A lot.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for weddings, we wouldn't be in business.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I would say 75% of our business is weddings.
Nice.
It is. It's wonderful. We have just been very blessed in that department. So
Yeah. So from what I understand about florals and in my experience with different florists, there's so many different ways that people choose to do their flowers. You can assemble everything here at the shop, deliver them. They can place them themselves, or you'll put them on a thing or whatever. And then you have florists who come assemble everything on site, install them. That's like more full service. Right. I mean, I know this because I've worked with you. You guys are more on the latter of full service, but
Yes.
do you do the just drop and go as well? Or what's like your preference?
we do. I prefer to do it.
Yeah.
I prefer to do it all. So when the arbor is done, I did it. It looks good. Grandma didn't hang it up there, and your aunt didn't hang it up there. I mean, they don't know. They're not in full service. So we do mostly full. Very, very rarely. If it's just table pieces, that's more, where we can make it here in the store and deliver it. I'm good with that. But big installs, no. I bring everything there and we put it together there. Yes, that's what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're the type of florist, rental place, or coordinating. Whatever they want, we do.
Yeah.
Because it's their wedding, not ours.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And
so-
that brings me to my next point. We were talking off camera about this. You'll have clients come to you that are like, I want all black flowers. And you're like, oh my gosh, no. But okay, if that's what you want.
Now, I must say, Ashley, I've never done that.
Yeah.
Not all black flower. We'll incorporate black somewhere else. We can put it on the tablecloth. Your bridesmaids can wear all black.
Yeah.
But we try to do what they want.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm kind of over the boho thing, if I have a bride that wants it, I am happy to do it because it's really about them. It's not about us.
Yeah.
If that's your taste and that's what you've wanted,
Yeah.
heck yes, we're going to do that for you. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I cry small tears when I have to do it. when I have to see that.
But when I see them smile, it's worth it all.
Totally.
It is.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Okay, so then let's kind of talk about, I mean, you've done this for quite a while. So what trends are you excited to see go away? And I want you to weigh in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that boho, I'm ready for it to go. And really, I'm not a huge fan of baby's breath. I had never been my whole life. Never once iota. And so my daughter got married a couple years ago, and I was really, I'm the florist, Rim. You should be kind of listen to your mom.
Yeah.
But you got to be easy with that mother-daughter there. And so we had really beautiful florals. Everything was great. And she's like, Mom, I really wanted the baby's breath. Where's it at? I'm like, Remington, really?
We said no.
So her mother, for the 2 family tables, I loaded that up with baby's breath, all in between, just laid it on the table and then going down the aisle because she really wanted that. So, if I'm going to do it for my daughter, I'm going to do it for you. And we had that baby's breath, but I'm over that.
You're over the baby's breath.
But it's
You're
okay.
Over boho.
If you want it, we'll do
it. Yeah.
I think a lot that's going out is coming back now because I've just been working on some things and backyard or kind of more not country, but the wood, backyard trees, that stuff. I think that's coming back and I didn't think that was coming back. I don't know. Mom's done a lot. We have a lot of rentals here up in storage that I go through and I want to get rid of. But then you always have that one bride that comes in and wants them. So it's very, I don't know. I'm ready to see stuff go, but it never does. It always comes back, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I still am a sucker. I like bright, colorful weddings, but man, I love a good black and white.
Yeah.
Timeless.
Classy,
Nice,
timeless.
classic.
Yes.
I know. I'm really excited about this trend right now, that's bringing in a lot of the dramatic drapery and
flowers and drapery, I think is going to be this year a lot.
Yeah, which is a very luxurious feel. I love it.
But not big bouquets. I think now maybe more on this. Like smaller bouquets maybe and large statement pieces on tables.
Yeah. I'm all about it. I'm trying to steer our clients into let's have a couple big statement pieces and everything else can be pretty minimal, Yes. So in terms of budgeting, everyone's favorite thing to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
What's a pretty average budget for flowers that you guys see?
Well, since we do the minimal,
Right.
I mean, 500. And that's if they come here to the store, pick them up. We did a couple of those last year. And, then there are some that are 5,000, 8,000 just on florals. And that's fine too. So that's a huge range.
Oh, yeah.
But, when you have a little country church wedding, you can easily do that for 500.
Yeah.
And if you have an Emerson Fields wedding, then that's going to be a lot more dramatic. I mean, it's beautiful out there already.
Right.
But by the time you add florals to it, just goes up a notch.
Right. And speaking of Emerson Fields, you do a lot of things even out there outside of what I would classify as a normal florist or even rental company. You guys do drapery and lighting things, and talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we do the drapery. That just adds it a little more wedding-ish, I think, instead of just a plain venue. We do that. We do the lightings. Sheridyn, just tell them about the New Year's Eve wedding you had.
So I went to Chillicothe, and it was a Catholic wedding, and right across the street is the Catholic school. So I walked into a Catholic school gym, and it was blue and yellow, and my bride wanted a very classic, timeless New Year's Eve wedding, so black, white, gold. And so we had to cover all of the blue with landscaping paper, and we had to do lighting. And they had a guy there that was doing it, but she wanted a balloon drop at midnight. And so we found a net and we found balloons and we got it up. I was so nervous.
You're like, can we actually do this?
It's not like you can't do a trial run.
Yeah.
It's like put it up there and pray to God this works when the clock strikes midnight.
Yeah.
And so, I had told all our groomsmen, I was like, you all helped me do this.
Yeah.
So if this goes south, we do something.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do at this point, but just do something.
Yeah.
And by golly, we had it hooked through the school clock, and we pulled that baby down, and they started popping, and I panicked. But we just kept pulling, and then they all fell, and it was beautiful.
Oh, yay.
And it turned out great. But, yeah, that was something that I was like, I didn't know how it was going to turn out because we had never done it, but it
Yeah.
was like, I want to do it. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
good. And I guess now we know how to do it for the next New Year's Eve or next balloon drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you transformed a place. I believe it was in Canton.
Canton.
Yeah,
Yep.
that
yeah,
was
we took
beautiful.
a family warehouse. Yeah,
Yes.
but those are becoming my favorite things of taking really blank spaces, warehouses, gyms, whatever, and totally transforming it. But you want to talk about budget, it has to be there.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Because it's not cheap. A lot of people think, oh gosh, I'm just going to have a backyard wedding, or I'm going to have it on my family's land.
Or outside. Those are
Right.
tough.
And it's like, I don't think you understand.
Everything that goes into it.
Right. You have to tint it. You have to bring in bathrooms. You have to bring in every chair.
Electricity.
Yeah. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, and see, I was one of those brides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you did it.
29 years ago. Yeah,
But you made it.
We did. We made it. It was a hot old day, but it was perfect.
What's your anniversary? What day did you get married?
August 26th.
Oh, bless you.
95.
Bless you.
Yeah.
You were an August person? Oh, boy.
It was.
Crazy.
We were farmers, so you had to do it in the off season.
Yep.
And I didn't want a winter wedding, so what's my option? August. Let's go.
Yeah. It's funny because my anniversary is New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
wow.
everyone's always like, oh, these New Year's weddings, they're so hard. Working on a holiday, who's a New Year's bride? And I'm like,
Me.
I was one of those. Oh, that's awesome.
but I think it kind of fits who I am and
Yes.
who my husband is. It just, party people.
good.
Okay, so tell me about some of your favorite events and weddings that you guys have done.
We mainly
Would
do.
that one
My New Year's,
Be
I
up
had
there?
a great family that I got to work with. Anytime I needed anything, they were like on it. They were like, here you go. This is what you need. Do whatever
Yeah.
you need to do with it. So yeah, that was it was a lot, but it was super fun. I mean, we had never been there, and Mom did a full service one at Emerson, and I was in Chillicothe. So I mean, we had
Oh my gosh.
2 full crews, and
Yep, I feel that.
some crews that had never. I had a 15-year-old girl that I knew she listened to me well, and I was like, "You're gonna come with me, and you're
Yep.
gonna work," and she did. But yeah, it was. I loved it. I mean,
Yeah. And it makes those challenging weddings and events so much better when you have a kind, grateful client and their families.
Yes,
Like
it
it
does.
could be the most hellacious day and like thunderstorming and just awful. But if you have a grateful couple, you're like, anything for you. I will
Yeah.
throw my body in front of a car for you, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they're just like a little not kind, it's like, ugh.
especially the ones that don't know everything that goes into like that you do, like we do on a wedding day, and they're just like, "You're gonna do that for us? Like, I can do it." I was like, "Go enjoy. Like, go talk to your guests. Like, go do something. We got it. We can
Yeah,
You're
do
good
what
to
you
go.
need."
yeah,
So
for sure. What's been one of your favorites?
One of my favorite things about weddings is the families. We were talking about this earlier. Just when you get to be with them, and they've got great families, and then you just feel like you're a part of it, and you just want to like, oh, let's go have dinner sometimes because you really. One of my favorite weddings we did was actually this last year, and it was a Spanish wedding, and I think we should take some lessons from them. They have just deep, meaningful things in the ceremony. And sometimes the party's great. Don't get me wrong, the reception's great. But really, the marriage is about the wedding. And this will be the easiest day of your life. You may not think so.
Oh, yeah.
But the next 50 years you're going to put in, they're the toughest.
Oh, yeah.
Not every day, but you're going to have some days. And so this wedding had a lot of tradition in it. They did the coins, and the groom's grandparents brought them up, presented them. And they were from the South. And
Cool.
so that was fun. They had some Southern traditions they brought. And then they had the mariachi band.
Oh, so fun.
And they had the
street corn
the
mimosas
street corns.
that's what we did
Yummo.
for cocktail hour and
Yes.
fresh fruit.
And it was just so meaningful. Their ceremony just meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I learned some things that really surprised me.
Yeah.
Like we had guests we were 25 minutes into this wedding, and we had people coming in the door like it's no big deal. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, people, we're about done here.
Yeah.
But we'll find you a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know.
anyway.
It is interesting. I was talking with a friend of mine about that. Like when you have a meaningful ceremony, at this point in our careers, we've seen hundreds of these. And actually paying attention to a ceremony takes a lot. For me, at least, because, it's like I'm also thinking about 50,000 other things. So to capture my attention for those 20 to 30 minutes, like you have to have a really good ceremony.
You have to do something spectacular.
Yes. Yeah. And so I love it. I used to always say, oh, tradition is dead, but I think it's coming back.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah, I like a new tradition we've kind of been doing here for Unity ceremony. It used to be the candles. Gosh, that's, and some couples have been doing communion, which I love. Because being a person of faith, I believe God should be first. And then if you have him as your center, then your life's going to be a lot easier if you don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that one wedding just had so much depth in it, It
Well, and you had no idea going in. I
No.
had done,
none.
yeah.
So I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. But Sheridyn had done one the year before.
Yeah. It was New Orleans and a Mexican wedding. And
Oh,
it was
so cool.
talk about tradition. I mean, both sides, and how to mix. We had a DJ that he would do a Spanish and then a New Orleans, and I've never seen families get on the dance floor. I mean, his mom had like 6-inch heels and was breaking it down on the dance floor. I was like, this is so fun because that's what they loved and that's what they wanted to do. And
That tradition of the snake dance.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Sheridyn's cool.
I was
She
like,
knows what's
Mom, just
happening.
be prepared. This is about to get a little chaotic. My mom's like sitting on the table and she's like, Sheridyn, something's going to fall. I was like, nah, you're
I
good.
know. That's how I feel during our Jewish weddings when they're up on the chairs. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's what I was so worried about. We have a bride on one chair, the groom on the other, and their wedding party protects them as the family swing through there and try to knock them over.
And I mean, they just hit them as trying to knock them to break their.
You're like, oh my gosh.
Mom was not having it.
It was great. I mean, it really was good. I was just very nervous for my couple. Very nervous.
Yeah.
But it was
I've
good.
done a couple quinceañeras. And
Okay.
So those are really fun, traditions and
Deep.
yes. And just the family love. I always love when a family is just like very invested in the celebration,
Yeah.
And wants to be
really
there
special.
for them and see them happy. And
Yes.
Yeah, it's really special. Well, we were just talking off camera about one of the most common questions I get when people are like, oh, you're a wedding planner. Do you have bridezillas? I'm like, actually, no. Like, I've been pretty lucky to have only a couple.
Yes. We really too. We have been very blessed in the 25 years officially we've been doing this. I have one.
Yeah.
But really, they're just so, I love them. I love my brides.
A lot of it, and what I would say, a lot of it is just managing expectations. That's
exactly.
like 95% of this job is managing expectations,
Yes.
having really good communication, but then also knowing that not everything is personal. And
Right.
when a bride is upset, she's just nervous.
Yes, a lot of that.
which, I was just going to say, I think we've been lucky in the past couple years getting like the friend groups. I know I've seen a post that you've made that you've done like 3 people's friend groups or something like that. And that's what we're getting into now is they were a maid of honor or a usher or a groomsman or my friend got married and I asked them what to do and they said, call Tina. Tina will do it.
Yep.
And so that helps too is when they've seen you so they know what you do and you kind of already have that connection. And I don't know. I think that's how we get some good. That's how I got my New Year's Eve was she was a maid of honor. And so, that it helps, I think, a lot.
Yeah. We have a lot of those same friend groups. They've seen us work before and they're like, oh, I'm calling you when I get engaged.
Yeah.
Or, siblings and whatnot. I'm sure over the years you've had a lot of that.
Yes, we have. It's fun once you start doing the family. Just to work through
Get through
them.
them all.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is.
We have a second sister this spring, and we had the first sister a couple falls ago. and so I'm
that's
excited
awesome.
for the second one. And then there's still one more sister.
Oh, very
so I'm
good.
Like, great. We get to do 3 celebrations with
Yes.
the family, hopefully.
And what one does, generally the other one does not. Well, she did that.
Yeah.
So okay, no problem. We can work around that.
Yes.
Or even like a cousin or So that's fun too.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys are located in Macon. Do you stay pretty close to this area or?
We do. We stay, but we're kind of branching out. I would
2024 is going to be our expanding year for sure.
We went
Well,
to
a little
Shellicott.
easier now that there's 2 of you.
Yes,
That's nice.
Yes,
You're
that
able to
is.
do a little bit more.
we are. Yeah.
So what does the future look like? You're expanding. You're going out.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. I mean, I was kind of worried here a couple of months ago about 24. It just seemed like they were so slow coming in. I really was. I mean, I was concerned about that, but God takes
They're
great
coming
care of
in.
us, and they're
Yeah.
coming in. So,
Yeah. I feel that.
Trying a lot of new venues this year, I think.
Yeah,
and
we
just
are.
like, I don't know. We're doing a lot of new things. I feel like just whatever
that's
they
good.
want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Where are you most excited to go this year? If you're going to some new venues.
I don't know where Les Bourgeois, the
Oh, yeah.
winery.
Yeah, we've never
We're
been
doing
there.
that. And so I'm excited just because
Is
something
it the
new.
full venue?
Yes,
Or-
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because when I walked into that venue, I was praying it was the full venue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
was about to say. I was like, oh boy, we need to talk.
No, we were there, and it was beautiful. I had never been there before. Neither one of us
Yeah,
had.
neither. And the bride was trying to like help us when we met with her and like show us pictures, but that
Pictures
does
don't do it
nothing
justice.
until you're
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It was. It was.
Especially if a bride wants any of our like big rentals, it's like before I say yes, I need to know where exactly
to
I
see
can
your
put
space.
this
Yeah.
because
Not always. And we're going to the Rialto
Oh,
over in Hannibal. Yes,
My
we've
friend
never been
Kara
there.
owns that.
Okay,
She's
yeah.
wonderful.
Yes.
That's a
we've been
super
there.
cute place.
And back up to White Oaks and
we have one in Whippoorwill.
one at Whippoorwill and Lancaster.
Very
So we're
cool.
excited about that new space.
That's awesome.
And then we love Emerson Field, so we're going to be out
Yeah.
there some too.
yeah.
And then we have a couple of church weddings,
Yeah.
which is good.
Local. And
Yes, and then we take the expo here and we're going to transform it.
Good.
So that's where we started.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It is.
Well, I need to get you guys down to Columbia more
Yeah,
for sure.
that'd be great.
if you want to come travel down there.
Yes, within an hour is doable for us, really.
Yeah.
And that's an hour. Chillicothe's an hour. Hannibal's an hour.
Well, this summer we're gonna do something exciting. We're gonna let the girl that normally helps me. She's gonna coordinate one because I have to be in my best friend's wedding,
Oh, yeah.
and so that'll be fun. I mean, me getting to sit down and maybe enjoy a wedding for once rather than doing
Yeah.
it all.
I know.
Yes.
So
Because we don't do that often.
Yeah.
You know,
I do.
usually we get invited to a wedding, but we have a wedding, so we don't get to go. And then when we do get to go, gosh, we just sit there and think, oh, this.
I
And
know.
you can't do that. But
know.
as long as they're happy and they're enjoying it, that's what matters.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about being a vendor is like when you actually get to go to something, it's like it takes extreme amounts of discipline to not just pick it apart.
Right.
You know,
But-
you're like, oh, I would have done this or this or this or this or jump in. That's my
Yes.
thing. Ashley, sit down.
well, even at my sister's, we thank goodness we were at White Oaks and we have a great crew here that wanted or not
We were at
Emerson
Emerson,
Fields.
yeah.
And Amelia was great about just trying to tell me and mom like
Sit down.
sit down,
Yes.
They
like
did.
calm
They did
down.
a
Yeah.
Great job. And you know,
because
I bet it was
Yeah.
beautiful. It's hard to do something not beautiful at Emerson.
it is.
It's
True.
just so beautiful. Okay, one of my last questions, and this is what I ask everybody. If you were not doing this, what would you want to be doing?
Wow. That's a great
My
question.
answer usually is I want to be a farmer, but only for the animals and never to like butcher them, only to
Oh,
have.
Ashley, girl, you've got
Yeah, I know.
to learn.
I know. I told you my hobby this year is horse riding,
Yes.
but that's one. I also decided that one of my careers could also be playing with children's toys on YouTube. That seems to be
Okay.
very lucrative. That's all my 3-year-old watches is people playing with toys, not him playing with them, but just watching
other
the
people
videos.
play them. Oh, that's funny.
I know.
I don't know. I guess I've been doing this so long. You know, when I left crop production services, I missed the farmers so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's the thing. When and if I ever do get to retire, I would just miss the people. So I would have to do something that's people based,
Yeah.
not sitting at a desk pushing numbers, which I
no.
like that, but I love people. So I
Yeah.
would definitely want to do something working with people.
yeah,
I
people
could see
and
you being like
active.
a cruise ship director.
Oh my goodness. No, Ashley.
You are such an entertainer and you don't even know it.
Oh, well, I am far from that, sweetheart. But yeah, I don't know. I would just like to go on a few more cruises. Yeah.
That'd be good
Yes.
with Christina.
Yeah, because that's where she is now.
That's where she's
Good for
at.
her.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
I mean, I have no idea because I didn't even know I wanted to do this, but something like I'd have to be active. Like I couldn't have a desk job. I'd have to be up and moving and doing something because that's how I was raised. It's what I've always known.
Yeah.
It's
And
something
definitely-
not the same thing every day. People think flowers are the same thing every day.
You
they're
never
not.
know what's walking through that door.
Right. You're at the highs at a wedding and you're at the lows when you're helping a funeral family.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's tough, but you get to see them at their best
Yep.
and at their toughest day.
right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you get to kind of be the constant and the encourager and
Try.
Serving
or
'em.
cry right along with them.
yep, that definitely happens.
Yes.
I get that. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being willing to be on the podcast.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
I
thank
appreciate you
you.
guys.
We
and
really appreciate it. Thank you.
I really hope we get to work together more.
Sounds great.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's Pearls of Wisdom podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Miner with Delight Events. As always, you can find us all over the internet by following us on Instagram at Delight Events Mo and on Facebook. And please consider leaving us a review here for the podcast. Subscribe if you're on YouTube or on Spotify. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.